day, class. It's Mr. Sargent here with your day 98 recap video for ELA and for science. Now, once again in ELA, we focused on our iReady diagnostic test. And ladies and gentlemen, I love the way you took the test. You took your time, you checked your answers. Very proud of all of you. So once again, we're going to be focusing today's video just on what we learned in science. Now, in science today, we focused on, well, the life cycle of frogs. So sit back, stay tuned, and let's learn a little bit about frogs. So on our journey to learn about the life cycle of frogs, the first thing I had you do was read a story about the life cycle of frogs. And you can find this on Epic. It's a great story that definitely introduces just the incredible life cycle that we experience with frogs. Okay. After that, we talked a little bit about what we already know about frogs. Now, one tool that we are going to utilize is Discovery Education. So if you're not logging on to Discovery Education, you need to, because there's so much great information that you can find about any topic, any science topic. But primarily, today, we're going to focus on frogs. So if you look behind me, you're going to see my first lesson board. Now, everything on this board is something that we're going to be talking about in our lesson. Now, if you look at some of the pictures, there we have a picture of a nice smiley frog up in the corner. We have the word amphibians, because when we think about a frog, we have to know that it is an amphibian. We have a quick video in the left corner, which you can go ahead and click on once you log on to Discovery Ed, or I can put a link to another video in the description below that teaches you about the life cycle of frogs. But we start with the question that you see over here, and that is, what are some facts we already know about frogs? Now, if you watched the video a few days ago, you know we discussed frogs and the cool things that frogs can do. One, that they can breathe through their skin. Two, they live on both land and on water. And three, they lay eggs just like birds and other and reptiles as well. And they hatch from eggs. So, knowing that, let's discuss a little bit more about the life cycle. Now, with the help of my board, let's change the slide now. There we go. As you can see on this board, ladies and gentlemen, there are many different parts of a life cycle of a frog. Okay, we're starting off with the egg. Now, an adult frog will lay hundreds and hundreds of eggs at a time. Now, they have to lay them in water. That's how they develop and hatch. But unlike birds that we talked about earlier this week, once the amphibian is done laying the eggs, they're done. All right, they go off and be frogs, and the eggs are now on their own. Now, throughout this part of the lesson, there's one word that I really want you to focus on, and that is metamorphosis. I'll put it right up here. Metamorphosis. It's a big word. But really, when you hear me say metamorphosis, I want you to think change. Okay? Because as we see in the picture over here behind me, the eggs do change a lot. So they first start off as a tadpole. Now, tadpole phase one, well, that's right when it hatches. It's got a small tail, it's very tiny, and it's swimming around. And then as it gets older, it turns into tadpole phase two. And then it metamorphosizes, there's our word, into a froglet. And if you look at what happens when it goes to a froglet, it actually grows legs. What, I know, right? No other species other than amphibians actually grows legs. You think about a horse, you think about birds, you think about, well, fish don't have legs, duh, right? But you think about the life cycles that we've talked about already, they're born with their legs. A frog, well, it metamorphosizes, there's our word again, and changes and grows legs. Now, as it grows legs, it doesn't need the tail as much anymore, does it? So, as the froglet becomes a young frog, and, well, if we look at the picture, how does it go from the water to the land? Well, something else that it grows. Instead of having gills like it does as a tadpole, and not even as a froglet, it grows lungs. Now, as we know, any creature with lungs, well, can't survive in the water, so it comes out on land. Now, over time, the tail of the frog will, well, disappear. It will just go. They don't need it anymore, do they? So as it metamorphosizes, there's our word again, it is going to change and grow what it needs and lose what it doesn't. And then after the froglet grows its lungs, loses its tail, it becomes an adult frog, and the whole process starts over again. But what's really interesting about this is, well, this. After it hatches from an egg, it's not a frog. You may be thinking, well, but it's on the frog. No, it's not a frog. It's a tadpole. A tadpole is its own species. It's its own animal. It's through metamorphosis. There's our word again. It's through metamorphosis that a tadpole goes through the life cycle and through the stages to become a frog. All right, so a frog isn't born a frog, it's born a tadpole. Unlike any other animal, any other vertebrate that we know. Now, we do know of some invertebrates that also uses, there it is again. It's always there, isn't it? Metamorphosis. Think of a frog sort of like a caterpillar and how it changes and metamorphosizes into a butterfly. Once you understand metamorphosis, ladies and gentlemen, you will definitely understand the life cycle of an amphibian a lot better. Now, if you're still struggling with understanding the different parts of the amphibian life cycle, I will be putting a picture in Google Classroom for you to copy down into your notes and to study. You can also come to me with your questions tomorrow in class if you have any questions about the life cycle of an amphibian. And also do your own drawing. Be creative with it. We know there are different species of frogs out there, but all frogs go through the same changes or the same. There it is again, ladies and gentlemen. This time you say it. What? I can't hear you. A little bit. There it is. Metamorphosis. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for day number 98. I am so proud of everyone in this class. Now, tomorrow we're going to get back to normal lessons for ELA and for science. We do still have a few people that need to take their diagnostic test, but you know what? We will handle that when we get there. As a reminder, you do have your math diagnostic test today or tomorrow. So definitely take your time to rest tonight, relax, and I know you are all going to do an incredible job tomorrow. All right, I believe in each and every one of you. And until the next time we talk, have a great night.